Hello, my friend. If you're a man in your 60s, 70s, or even 80s, and you've felt lately like something's shifted, not just in your body, but in your spirit, you're not alone. Maybe it's that spark you used to feel, the energy, the connection, the quiet strength that once made you feel like yourself. If that sounds familiar, then take a breath, because this space, right here, is for you. I'm Dr. Barbara, and while I may not wear a cape or lift weights on Instagram, I've spent the last 25 years walking alongside men who've hit a wall they never expected. Not just physical changes, but emotional ones. The kind you don't always talk about with your buddies. Changes that can chip away at your confidence, your relationships, even your sense of purpose. But here's what I've learned. When a man is willing to understand his body instead of ignoring its signals, something remarkable happens. He begins to rise again, not in the same way he did at 30, but in a way that's grounded, wiser, and deeply fulfilling. Today we're going to talk about a topic many shy away from, men's sexual health, and how it's deeply tied to your confidence, your marriage, and even your overall vitality. Not because we're chasing youth, but because intimacy, strength, and connection aren't just for the young. They're part of what it means to live fully at any age. Now, before we dive into the science, the solutions, and the hope, I want to ask something small but powerful. Could you scroll down and drop a comment with where you're tuning in from? Just your city or state, our country. Why does that matter? Because this isn't just a video. It's a gathering place, a place where men from around the world, retired, widowed, married, struggling, or thriving, can see that they're not walking this journey alone. It's incredible what happens when you realize someone in Detroit, someone in New Mexico, someone in the quiet corners of Idaho feels exactly what you feel. That connection, it's healing. So take that step. Say hello in the comments. And if you hear something today that speaks to your experience, something that opens your eyes or gives you hope, please hit the like button. It's not about vanity. It's about visibility. You're helping another man who might be afraid to search for this kind of video find exactly what he needs just in time. And if you've ever found yourself asking, what happened to my energy, my confidence, my relationship, then lean in, because we're not here to judge or fix you. We're here to remind you your story isn't over. In fact, it might just be entering its most meaningful chapter. Let's begin this journey, not just to better health, but to reclaiming the part of yourself you thought was lost. It's not gone. It's just waiting to be awakened. Let's talk about something that too many men carry in silence, not because they're weak, but because they've been taught to be tough, to handle things alone, to man up when something feels off. But here's the truth. When your body stops responding the way it used to, especially in the most intimate moments, it's not just frustrating, it's confusing, it's embarrassing, and for many men, it's quietly devastating. Erectile dysfunction, ED, is one of those topics that hardly ever gets brought up at the dinner table. But in truth, it affects more men than we talk about, especially after the age of 60. And it's not just about what's happening down there, it's about what's happening in here, in your blood, in your hormones, in your heart, and yes, even in your emotions. ED is not the problem, it's the messenger. A quiet tap on the shoulder from your body saying, hey, something deeper needs attention. You see, your body is like a well-engineered engine. When it runs smoothly, everything clicks. Circulation flows, hormones fire, muscles respond, confidence rises. But when a single part, like blood flow or testosterone, starts to wear down, the whole system starts hesitating. And the result? Your body doesn't feel like your own anymore. Not in the gym, not in the bedroom, not even in front of the mirror. But listen closely. This is not the end of your story. ED doesn't mean you've lost your manhood. It means your body is asking for support, not shame. Here's the good news. Once you understand what's behind ED, reduced blood circulation, hormone imbalance, weakened pelvic floor, even chronic stress, you begin to see clearly. This isn't punishment. This is a turning point. Think of it like a warning light on the dashboard. When your car flashes red, You don't throw the whole vehicle away. You investigate, you repair. And guess what? That's when performance returns. ED can be the same. It's not the final chapter. It's the call to begin a new one, where your health becomes your mission and your relationships become stronger, not strained. This is not about performance pressure. This is about peace of mind. It's about waking up and feeling connected to yourself again. So if you've been carrying this silently, maybe even feeling like less of a man, please hear me. You are not broken. You are not alone. You are not beyond healing. You're simply standing at a fork in the road. One path continues in silence, frustration, and distance. The other opens up a journey toward understanding, restoration, and renewed connection. And today, together, we're going to choose that second path. Because this isn't just about sex. It's about energy. It's about identity. It's about the quiet, powerful confidence that comes from knowing you are still in control. Let's explore what's really going on inside your body so we can begin reclaiming your strength from the inside out. Your body is a brilliant machine, resilient, powerful, and full of quiet wisdom. But even the most reliable engine needs maintenance. And as we age, the systems that once ran without a hitch can start to whisper, slow down, or sputter altogether. One of the first systems to lose steam? Circulation. That beautiful, life-giving flow of blood that fuels every cell, every organ, and yes, even your intimate performance. Here's the unfiltered truth. Most cases of ED have less to do with desire and far more to do with your blood vessels. Think of your arteries like garden hoses. When they're young and healthy, water flows freely. But with age, plaque builds, pressure rises, flexibility stiffens, and suddenly the flow weakens. Now apply that same concept to the tiny vessels responsible for strong, sustained erections. If they're narrowed, hardened, or sluggish, performance drops. Not because you've lost your manhood, but because your body isn't getting the fuel it needs. Add to that hormonal changes, particularly the natural decline in testosterone, and you've got a recipe for frustration. Testosterone, that core hormone of male vitality, doesn't just influence libido. It drives muscle tone, energy, mood, mental clarity, even your sense of purpose. Then there's the often forgotten pelvic floor. Those are the muscles deep in your lower core that support bladder control, stamina, and yes, erection strength. Like any muscle, if you don't use them, you lose them. And over time, they weaken quietly until one day you notice something just feels off. But here's the good news. You are not powerless. And you don't need a radical overhaul to start feeling strong again. What you need are targeted, simple shifts that work with your body, not against it. Let's start with movement. A brisk 20-minute walk each day isn't just good for your heart. It's like turning on the faucet, reviving circulation, waking up your nervous system, and triggering hormonal balance. It doesn't have to be a marathon. It just has to be consistent. Next, Kegel exercises. Yes, men can and should do them too. You're not doing squats in public. You're learning to reclaim control of the very muscles that support your strength below the belt. Start with 3 sets a day. Quiet, private, powerful. Now let's talk food. You don't need expensive supplements or powders. What you need is color on your plate. Beets, watermelon, leafy greens. These are nature's nitric oxide boosters. They open blood vessels like turning up the dimmer switch on your circulation. Nitric oxide is the silent hero of blood flow. The more your body produces, the more oxygen and nutrients reach every cell, including those responsible for intimacy and energy. Eat with purpose, move with intention, and watch how your body starts to respond. These changes don't just improve erections, they lift your mood, balance your blood sugar, lower your blood pressure. They help you sleep better, wake up clearer, and walk through your day with less tension in your chest and more fire in your belly. It's not about going back in time. It's about feeling strong today. Because this isn't just about the physical. It's the foundation for everything that comes next. Your mindset, your relationships, your future. So before we move into the emotional side of this journey, let's honor your body. Let's give it the fuel, the movement, and the care it's quietly been asking for. Your comeback doesn't begin with a pill. It begins with a walk, a handful of greens, and the decision to take back what time has tried to steal. Let's keep going. Let's take a breath. Because while the body plays a role in ED, there's another powerful force at work, one that's often overlooked: your mind, your thoughts, your fears. You see, physical issues may light the first match, but it's anxiety that fans the flames. It whispers doubts at the worst moments. What if I can't perform? What if I let her down? What if I've lost what made me a man? And with each whisper, your body hears a threat, even if there isn't one. Your brain releases cortisol, the stress hormone. Your blood vessels tighten, your muscles tense, your heart races, and instead of connection, you feel pressure. ED isn't just about biology. It's about that invisible weight on your chest when things don't go as planned. And the more it happens, the more your mind begins to expect failure, even before you begin. This creates a feedback loop. Worry creates tension. Tension disrupts arousal. Disappointment feeds shame. And round it goes. But here's what no one tells you. You can break the cycle, not by ignoring it, but by getting curious about it. Ask yourself, when did I start feeling distant from my own body? When did intimacy become a test instead of a joy? When did I stop believing I was enough? Because those questions don't make you weak, they make you brave. And here's something else. You don't have to carry this alone. One of the most powerful tools in restoring emotional intimacy is something simple, but often feared: conversation. Not performance, not perfection, just honesty. When you speak your truth to your partner, when you say, "This is what I'm going through," or "I'm scared I'm not who I used to be," you're not showing weakness, you're showing trust. And real partners, they don't walk away from that. They lean in. It's not about pity, it's about partnership. Many men find that the moment they open up, the pressure lifts. Because when you stop hiding, your nervous system stops defending. Your body stops bracing for failure. And in that space, something beautiful happens. You relax, you respond, you reconnect. Now, I know not every man feels ready to open that door right away, and that's okay. You can start by working on your own inner calm. Simple things, like deep breathing before bed, mindful stretching, even just 10 minutes of silence in the morning, letting your thoughts settle like dust in sunlight. These are not small acts. They are acts of power, of self-respect, of mental training that rewires your response to stress. Because the truth is, the bedroom is not just a physical space, it's an emotional landscape. And if you feel disconnected from your mind, you'll struggle to connect with someone else. But when your mind becomes a place of calm curiosity rather than judgment, your body begins to trust again. And when you trust yourself, intimacy returns, not as performance, but as presence. This is where confidence is born, not from perfection, but from presence. From knowing that even if things aren't exactly the same as they used to be, you are still deeply capable of connection, joy, and love. So let's not skip this part of the journey. Because when you strengthen your mind, you strengthen your body. And when you strengthen your emotional connection, you build a relationship that's not just functional, but unshakable. By now you understand, ED isn't just a mechanical issue, it's the body's quiet call for help. And when we truly listen, the next question becomes, what can I do about it? Let me assure you, there are more paths to healing today than ever before. Some come from modern medicine, others are grounded in nature. Many are most effective when combined, tailored to your unique story. And that's the key, your story. There is no one-size-fits-all fix, because you're not just a statistic, you're a man with his own history, his own rhythms, and his own goals. So let's walk through the options, not to overwhelm you, but to remind you, you have choices, and that in itself is powerful. Let's begin with the one most people know, medication. Drugs like sildenafil, commonly known by brand names like Viagra, have helped millions of men regain function. They work by enhancing blood flow during arousal. But here's the catch. They're not a magic switch. They still require desire, relaxation, and stimulation to work well. Think of them not as the spark, but as the kindling. For some, pills aren't an option due to health conditions or side effects. That's where newer treatments come in. Take low-intensity shockwave therapy, for example. It's not as scary as it sounds. This non-invasive treatment uses gentle sound waves to stimulate new blood vessel growth in the penis. More vessels equals better circulation equals stronger performance. Many men see results after just a few sessions. If your testosterone is low, clinically confirmed, not just feeling off, then testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, might be considered. TRT can restore energy, mood, and sexual function, but it's not for everyone. That's why testing and doctor supervision are non-negotiable. It's not about boosting testosterone blindly, it's about restoring balance, safely and sustainably. Now let's look at some natural routes. Yes, they take more consistency, but for many the benefits ripple far beyond the bedroom. Acupuncture, for example, isn't just for stress relief. It improves circulation, reduces cortisol, and supports hormonal health, all of which can support sexual vitality. Herbal supplements like Korean ginseng, L-citrulline, or maca root have shown promise. But again, these are tools, not miracles, and quality matters. You want guidance, not guesses. Then there's the ultimate medicine, lifestyle. Every time you go for a walk, every time you reach for a leafy green instead of processed food, every time you choose rest over late-night stress, you're telling your body, I'm on your side. That message matters, because healing isn't just about what we take, it's about how we live. Here's the most important thing I'll say in this section. Don't walk this path alone. Consult a doctor who sees you as a partner, not a problem. Ask questions, get the right tests, and build a plan that fits you, not your neighbor, not a headline, not a commercial. Because when care is personalized, healing becomes possible. And not just physical healing, but emotional relief, deeper confidence, and stronger relationships. Remember, you're not chasing who you used to be. You're uncovering the strength that's always been inside you, waiting for this very chapter. Let's keep going, because there's one more layer we need to talk about. The lifestyle choices that quietly, steadily rebuild your foundation from the inside out. Let's step back for a moment. You've heard about medical tools. You've heard about hormones and blood flow. But now comes the part many men underestimate, the power of how you live every single day. Because whether you realize it or not, your habits are not just routines. They are signals. Signals to your body about what to prioritize, what to build, and what to heal. Let me say this clearly. Lifestyle isn't a side note. It's the foundation. It's the soil in which every other solution grows or fails to take root. Think of your health like a fire. Medication might strike the match. But if your daily life is soaked in stress, poor sleep, and processed food, there's nothing to keep the flame alive. Now, I'm not here to tell you to change everything overnight. That's not how real men build real change. You build it brick by brick. Let's start with movement. You don't need a gym membership or a six-pack. What you need is consistency. Just a 20-minute walk every day. That's it. It tells your blood vessels, we still need you. It tells your muscles, wake up. It tells your heart, let's keep going. And over time, that walk becomes more than a physical act. It becomes a ritual of respect. A time when you clear your head, breathe deeper, and feel your strength return, step by step. Next, let's talk about fuel, because what you eat is not just calories, it's instruction. Your body listens to every bite. Fats from fried food whisper inflammation, sugar screams instability. But healthy fats, avocados, olive oil, wild-caught fish, they whisper balance. Dark greens and vibrant veggies, they say, we've got your back. Food is chemistry, food is medicine, food is a message. Send your body the right one. Then there's sleep, not just any sleep, but deep, undisturbed, healing rest. That's when testosterone is produced. That's when your brain clears toxins. That's when your emotional resilience is restored. Poor sleep doesn't just make you tired, it steals your drive, your clarity, your intimacy. But 7 to 8 hours of consistent rest, it resets the system. Now add in stress management. This isn't about escaping stress. Life always brings pressure. It's about learning how to exhale, how to drop your shoulders, how to breathe deeply, how to put your phone down and simply be. Meditation, prayer, quiet reflection, whatever fits your spirit. These aren't luxuries. They're necessities for a man who wants to lead from a place of calm, not chaos. Here's what I want you to remember. Every glass of water you drink, every walk you take, every meal you choose with care is a form of self-respect. It says, I'm not giving up. I still matter. I'm still building something, no matter my age. And here's the deeper truth. For many men, ED is the first warning sign of heart disease, because the same blood vessels responsible for intimacy are the ones that feed your heart and brain. So when you address this, you're not just saving your confidence. You could be saving your life. This isn't just about the bedroom. It's about the kind of future you want. Do you want energy, mental clarity, a sense of purpose when you wake up? Then build that future, one choice at a time. You don't need perfection. You need consistency with compassion. And if you slip up, start again tomorrow. The body is forgiving. It wants to heal. It just needs a reason and a rhythm. Let's make your lifestyle the strongest medicine of all, because the man you'll be in 6 months, 1 year, or 10 years starts with the man you choose to be today. Let me tell you a story. His name was John, 73 years old. Strong hands, quiet eyes, the kind of man who'd build a family, a career, a life, brick by brick. But for almost 4 years, there was one thing he couldn't rebuild: intimacy. It wasn't that he didn't love his wife. He adored her, still reached for her hand when they walked, still left little notes on the fridge. But when it came to physical closeness, he pulled away. Not because he didn't want it, but because he was afraid of failing again. And like so many men, he said nothing. He smiled through it, changed the subject, blamed it on being tired. But inside, he was shrinking, not just physically, but emotionally. He told me during one of our first conversations, I feel like I lost a part of who I am, but I can't admit it without feeling weak. And that's the lie so many good men have been taught. That silence is strength, that vulnerability is defeat, that if your body changes, your worth does too. But here's what changed everything for John. One evening, after another quiet dinner, another missed opportunity, another heavy silence, he turned to his wife and said, "It's not you, it's me, and I'm scared. I miss you, and I don't know how to fix it." And do you know what she did? She reached across the table and held his hand. She said, "I've been waiting for you to say that. We'll figure it out together." In that moment, healing began. Not because they had all the answers, not because he took a pill, but because they removed the barrier between them: shame. You see, emotional connection is just as important as physical solutions. And for many men, the true breakthrough begins with a conversation. When you stop pretending, when you stop performing, when you speak honestly, that's when your nervous system exhales. That's when your partner leans in instead of pulling away. That's when trust replaces tension. We think our partners want perfection, but what most women want is honesty, presence, the truth. When you say, "I'm struggling, but I want to get better," you're not being weak, you're being courageous. Because true intimacy doesn't come from performance. It comes from being seen and letting someone stay. So here's my question to you. Is there someone in your life you've been hiding this from? What would happen if you let them in? You might be surprised by the response, by the compassion, by the relief that floods your chest when you no longer have to carry the burden alone. John's story isn't rare, it's just rarely told. But every time a man like him chooses honesty over silence, something beautiful happens. The spark returns. Not always in the way it looked at 25, but in a deeper, richer way. The kind that grows with time, trust, and truth. You have nothing to prove, but everything to gain. And if you're ready to reconnect, not just with your partner, but with yourself, start with one honest sentence. That might just be the moment your story begins again. So let's bring this full circle. If you've made it this far, you're not just curious. You're ready to understand, ready to reclaim, ready to move forward, not just in your health, but in your life. And here's what I want you to take with you. You are not broken. You are not past your prime. You are not less of a man because your body has changed. You are human, you are evolving, and you are still completely capable of deep intimacy, powerful energy, and meaningful connection. Sexual health isn't just about performance. It's about freedom. It's about waking up without fear, reaching for your partner without hesitation, and walking through the world with quiet confidence. It's about feeling like yourself again, strong, calm, alive. And to get there, you don't need perfection. You need curiosity. You need small steps. You need to listen to your body the way you would listen to someone you love, with care, not criticism. Remember, you've already started. The moment you chose to click this video, the moment you chose to stay with me through every section, you said to yourself, I'm worth the effort. And you are. So here's what comes next. If something in this message spoke to you, if it stirred a memory, a question, a sense of possibility, then take a moment right now to leave a comment below. Not just for me, but for the man who's scrolling quietly, searching for answers, feeling alone. Your story might be the hand he needs to hold. Whether you've struggled with ED, whether you've found solutions that worked, whether you've learned to talk with your partner, or you're still figuring it out, tell us, tell him. Your courage creates community, and while you're there, don't forget to hit the like button. Not for ego, but because that single click tells the YouTube algorithm, this message matters. And if you want to be part of a space where we talk openly about aging, relationships, masculinity, vitality, without shame or gimmicks, then go ahead and subscribe. Join this growing family of men and women who refuse to believe the best years are behind them. Lastly, I'd love to hear from you. What health or relationship topic do you want me to cover next? Drop it in the comments. Your voice guides this channel. Your curiosity shapes these conversations. Together, we're creating a space where growing older doesn't mean growing invisible. It means growing wiser, stronger, and more connected to yourself and those you love. This is Dr. Barbara reminding you, you are not too old, it is not too late, and your story is far from over. Live boldly, love fully, and I'll see you in the next video.